I got myself a couple of Pokemon packs, maybe a mountain of them, and managed to pull a highly sought after card.
Am I winning? I have to say I don't think I'm winning. I only have one hit so far. No way! No way! I was just complaining about it, what the heck?
But it's not one that I really like. Meanwhile, I tried to pull a Glaceon SAR from Terastal Festival and had zero luck. So I thought, why not take this chance to finally do what the name of this hobby tells you to do? Trade the cards! There are several ways to trade cards you don't want for the ones you are looking for, and that depends on what kind of cards you have on hand. What options are there? And did I end up getting my Glaceon SAR? Trading cards, no matter which brand, are categorized into rarities such as common, rare, and full art rares. For the lower grades like commons and uncommons, you can find them at a local card shop. You might have to ask for a specific set's bulk, but for older sets, it's more likely it's going to be clumped up together in one huge pile. For higher rarity cards, there's a few ways you can swap for a card that you want. Trade with another community member, trade with the store, and the plain old sell the card and use the money to buy the card you want. There's actually something common between any two of these options, so let's go over them. But one thing that's important for all options is knowing the value of your cards. Whether you like it or not, the TCG community puts values on cards based on several factors, with a higher price placed on cards that do well in the competitive scene, has a low population in the open market, is hard to pull from a set due to the rarity, are fan favorite characters, or are graded a maximum score by any grading company. Many stores and collectors use several apps and sites like Collector and TCG Player to check the current value of cards before making an offer. Some of these apps use marketplaces like eBay or public shop listings to get their data. My tip is to check out recently sold listings rather than blindly skim over listings that are currently up. That will give you the best data on the card's actual current worth rather than a speculative type of worth. Some sites may lump raw and graded price data together, so it's best to type out in detail which version you're looking for or selling to have a better accuracy. To trade your card with the least hassle, head on over to your local card shop. This does mean you're losing out on the full market value of the card, as practically no shop will take in your card at that price, as they need to make a profit if they're reselling it themselves. Avoid selling for cash if possible in this case, as you might only get 50% of the market value. Instead, the go-to strategy is to trade it for store credit, which is around 70 to 80% of market value. You can then use the store credits to buy the cards you're looking for, or for sealed products and packs to open later. When I was unable to pull Terastal Festival's Glaceon SAR myself, I decided to see if there were stores around me who would be willing to trade any of my other hits, such as non-evolution SARs or Master Balls, to trade for the Glaceon or some other cards that I was missing for the full set. I was surprised that very few stores took in non-English cards right now, even if they sold JP boxes. And the ones that did refused to take any of the non-evolution SARs. Like, I thought I would at least be able to swap in an A-spec for an A-spec, but nope, not happening. I knew I was gonna have to pay a bit more out of pocket, but scraping a couple of dollars off the price of a Glaceon would have been nice. Since it was still the first couple of weeks of Terastal's release, not a lot of stores even had the one I wanted. I wasn't gonna run around town on my 2 feet checking each store only to come out empty-handed. So I took a huge leap of faith and decided to contact each store with a DM to ask if they had any first. Everyone only had Jolteons! How is this possible? While I waited for a couple more days to pass by, I managed to pull both a Charizard EX and a Venusaur SIR from the SV151 set.
Wait. Wait! What the heck? Did I get like some god box or something? What is going on?
Now, I'm not a big fan of Charizard, but this illustration looked silly enough that I would like to keep it for a while at least, until I found an equally valued card that I wanted over it. The Venusaur, however, I was honestly okay with trading it off. I needed that Glaceon in my collection, and it was roughly around the same price after considering the store credit percentage deduction. But how did I even get to that conclusion in the first place? Something I didn't highlight before in the list of factors that affected the price of a card was the gradability of a raw card. Does it have whitening on the corners or edges? Is the positioning of the card center aligned across both axes? Whether you're trading it in at a card shop or with a community member, these things can potentially sway the trade in your favor. Or vice versa, like my Venusaur.
Oh no, this one has a lot of whitening though. Rip. See if you can look. Look at that. Ooh, look at that corner though.
Unfortunately, one of the corners was obviously a little white, so it was going to be hard for me to trade it in at full market value, even if I sold it myself. The thing is, I don't really put price tags on my collection, and I don't really like to think about cards that way either. Sure, I know some cards are worth more than others, and it's fun when we check out card prices during streams when I get something good.
I don't like how this bird is just staring at me now.
Unless I made a transaction with the card, aka selling them and getting something back in return, they're worth -$, to me because I used money to buy them and they're just sitting there on my table. From my previous experience of trying to trade in non-evolutions from the Terrestrial set, I learned that stores won't bother taking in cards that are worth less than roughly $10. Now that I had a more sought-after card in my hands, I should be able to make a trade slightly easier. I finally found a store that had a freshly pulled Glaceon and rushed over to make my trade offer. Since there's so few Glaceons in the local market, plus it's still early into the set's release, the prices for that card is gonna be a little bit high. But I did take into the factor that no one actually knows how easy or hard it was to pull the English version of the card in Prismatic Evolution, which was gonna be released in a couple of weeks. If it's difficult to get the EN version, the JP card will likely raise in value as fans of the Pokemon will turn towards the JP set to collect it. Since there's no guaranteed hits in Prismatic compared to Terrestrial, this would probably be likely. For the Venusaur card, there were rumors that SV151 may get a reprint in the near future, and reprints tend to dip the card value for a while until the printing finally stops. So right now, I felt like it was a good time for me to sell the card before that happens. I felt like stars were aligning and I was gonna get my chase card from the set. And there it was! The Glaceon SAR was finally in my hands, and I have never seen such a more beautiful card in my life! And that is until I go after a new chase card. But what happens with all the cards that you don't want but aren't exactly highly valued or sought after? For common and uncommon cards, you may need thousands of these cards before you can even offload the bulk to a store for just a couple of bucks of store credit. For any rare cards under, I would say like $15 in value, you're more likely to have more luck selling it yourself, either on an online platform like eBay or TCG Player, in Discord, or even Facebook Marketplace. Make sure to take into account the platform and payment fees when pricing those cards, as well as shipping costs if you're not meeting up in person. Those costs, as well as time listing it and shipping it, can add up, making it more of a hassle than anything. If you like watching this video, check out this one about watching out for pre-order scummy tactics, or this one that's recommended for you. I stream pack openings for TCGs like Pokemon on Twitch, and if you want to support the channel, consider joining the membership or other ways listed in the description box below. Bye for now!